Absolutely, you do. So it looks like they are getting prepared for the draft. I am seeing notes. So hang on a second. There isn't necessarily zero prep. You still have to. I mean, let's not forget. We need to reiterate how this format's working because I feel like we are going to keep mentioning in passing. You still have to. If you top your group, you play the fourth seed of the other, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's still a huge advantage. I mean, if you look at these groups, especially if you look at who's going to be meeting, say your Wings, your OG, your EG. Those are people, especially in single elimination, you want to be climbing up that prize pool before you ever go near them. It's not like this is a... I don't want to dismiss this group stage.
No. One best of 3 win. So if you are getting first seed and you go to main event and you get only one best of 3 win just against the number 4 of a group, you already double your prize pool. It's just that simple. One best of 3, you double what you have, and that's like all the way up to the finals, which is crazy.
Look at that guy. He sees the Shadow Demon first pick. He picks Luna. He picks Ogre.
He doesn't care that
stretches his arms. I mean, they got Ogre again, so I'm sure he's pretty happy about it. That's one of their most important heroes to allow their system to function. And the reason they open up with the Luna as well is to discourage. They don't want to give the enemy Shadow Demon plus Luna together. So that's the initiating hero. They need someone to be able to start the fights for them. Clockwork has been on the rise recently on offlane.
I'm glad. You're one of my absolute favorite heroes. I think he's fantastic. We watched...
Was it Bubba?
Bulba.
Bulba.
We watched Bulba's legendary...
Liquid is doing it.
Yeah, we watched the game, the highlights of the game.
I got goosebumps actually at the end of that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the dream Clockwork game. Didn't miss a hook, it seemed. Like
but completely blind as well.
Yeah, a lot of them were blind, I mean, that's the nature of Clockwork. A lot of prediction and... I love it. He's a great fun hero to play. Is this going to be MSS on the clock then?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah. I don't think Clockwork fits in. So some teams do play it on 4. Like who was the guy playing?
Virtus.pro does it with the Shadow Fiend, getting the cogs.
Yeah, give him the cogs damage. Yeah, that's a very good point.
But I don't like NP is not necessarily the team that normally does that. Like I don't think they have done that in the past.
Yeah, I think MSS plays the hero for this team. Like I think the team that played it on 4 was Cinderan's team. Yeah. They ran it on Yapsa.
Yapsa clock.
It was in Dream League, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great to watch that. And it is very strong as a support as well. It works together with the Shadow Demon. The combination, you just disrupt someone, you can walk up, it's like, hey, come here and make clogs.
Yeah, but
I think it's better to have him as an offlaner. You want he's really good in the offlane. He's very hard to kill. He's got good ability to sort of escape with the cogs and everything. And also, you want to hit 6, maybe 7, and get a kill as quick as you can once you get hook.
Yep.
That's the key.
Look at the VP bans as well. They ban out the Mirana. Pretty good synergy with the Clockwork. You hook shot and you get a free setup for the arrow, same as the Shadow Demon Disruption. And generally, when you pick SD, you want to have a core that uses the illusions very well, like Luna, Alchemist, and the Morphling or the TB. Those are the first 4 heroes that come to my mind when you talk about synergy with the Disruption. They remove the Alchemist because it's one of the more difficult ones to deal with. It's a lot of pressure when the enemy has Alchemist. You're always on this timer, we have to put pressure. You can't let the
money's stacking up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I do want to just quickly highlight, Ogre Magi picked again and again and again. Is this going to be one of the faces we see relentlessly in the draft?
He's been like the support of, I would say, the whole of this flipping patch. Like he's just been around for, his armor is ridiculous.
He has 8 armor.
I mean, 8 armor at the start of the game, Alex, to give you some idea, is insane.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, like Winter was just pointing at it, kind of just telling me how ridiculous it was.
It's crazy. He takes basically no damage. So when it comes to harassing lane, going up and harassing the mid, he can just waddle up, bash you with his club, cover you in burning sort of oil, and then waddle off again, and just repeat.
People always talk about that, but you forget that actually the Bloodlust is also another big part of the hero.
Oh, yeah.
The Bloodlust for the carry. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I mean, and is the beauty of Bloodlust that it synergizes with like almost everything? Is that
anything?
Makes it faster.
Like that's
makes
it.
Hit harder.
As long as you're a right-clicking core, you do attack damage. Bloodlust is great for you.
And it's not really a hero that you would prioritize to ban either, because right here, Warlock is a better one because it has more... It's more scary to face a Warlock later on. Naga Siren is more scary to face later on. Ogre is like, you know exactly what he's going to do. He is extremely good at what he does, but you know what he's going to do.
Yeah, and VP going back for the same thing. You can see like the first 3 picks. Luna is really good in the lane.
Look at him smile.
You pick Ogre to win the lanes, and then you have Sand King as well to win the lanes. You have Sand King, Ogre, or if they want to go back for the IO as well. Like everything is just basically repeat of the first game. We're just going to go for your lanes. We're going to destroy you in the lanes. Elder Titan there. Good combination with the SD.
What is it that you like about Luna in the lane, by the way? Like
because of the Luna's Blessing, it makes it very difficult for the offlaner to lane. And the damage you get from Luna's Blessing, plus
so much, right?
Plus the nuke. The nuke is actually so good in the laning phase.
Yeah.
The cooldown, the 6-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Just constant damage.
Yeah.
You said before, Winter, in the first game, that you said that Virtus.pro's strategy was more risky. that it was more risky
harder
than
to execute.
Harder to execute, excuse me. Yeah, let me not paraphrase. But do you feel like this is going to be a similar case coming when you see NP's draft here? Or is this looking a bit more outrageous?
I mean, yeah, they're going back for what they are good at, winning the lanes. But
lanes.
MP is different right now. The whole general strat is very different right now. They're going for, I think, more team fight and catch. The last game, they only had like 1 disable from the Rubik lift. This game right now, they have the Clockwork, they have Elder Titan, they have the SD Disrupt, they have a lot of disables. So they are clearly changing up a lot of things and going for a very late game carry. Because SD Elder Titan is usually paired with a Morphling TB kind of hero. Or Alchemist, but Alchemist is already taken out. So I expect one of those 3 heroes to be picked here for MP.
But isn't that very obvious for Virtus.pro? Like, they know exactly what MP is going to do. I mean, if you know it, like I would imagine Virtus.pro knows it as well.
Sure.
And they are Virtus.pro's the early game team. They're going to crush you.
I mean, that's a sign
20
of
to 30 minutes.
It's a sign of a good team. They don't really care about what your enemy is doing. You're just really, really focused on what you want to do and as a team, what you're good at.
And is that an attitude that you like, you admire? You like?
That's how Alliance won TI3.
Yeah.
They don't really care about what the enemy is doing. They're just really, really focused on what they want to do and how they're going to play Dota.
But you're going to be able, you have to be able to stop NP or Virtus.pro in this case and what they are doing as well. I mean, you can't just, hope that you make it to late
Think about
game.
it this way. If you're picking in five heroes that are to support what you're doing and nothing to really counter what they're doing, then those 5 might be able to carry your strat off better than if you'd kind of half-assed it and then picked a couple of guys to counter
like
them.
That's how EG does it. EG is really focused on counter-picking the enemy. Or anti-strat.
Hey,
there you go. You can say
don't use my lingo.
Like if you have 5 heroes all on the same page doing the same thing, as opposed to 3 heroes and then 2 to counter them, then is your strat going to be as strong? How much? I guess you have to balance between.
Yeah, it depends on the team, like how you function. MP actually went for the Sven. It's not a hero that is really good with the disruption illusions, but it is a very heavy carry hero because that's what you build into the SD Clock and Elder Titan. These 3 heroes, they take literally no farm at all from the map. So Aoi, here you go. The whole map is yours. You're gonna farm the map. And I like the last ban from VP as well. They have all really good setup for the Sunstrike. It's going to allow MP to win their lanes, so good ban for them.
So just trying to get Aoi big.
DK, I really think they were going to take.
They need a hero that doesn't take too much space for MP. So because Sven takes up a lot from the map.
Yeah.
They need an envy hero. I do like Sven pick up. Sure, it's a late game core, but at the same time, he is not afraid to fight early on as well.
Yeah, but you need to hit like a timing.
Ooh, Queen of Pain.
Yeah, like an early fighting hero. Like Queen of Pain is something MP picked a few times recently.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the hero, so...
At the moment. I mean, she's been great in the past, but...
But it fits the bill. Like, they need a hero that doesn't take up too much space and a hero that helps do damage with the Clockwork hookshot or the other Titan stun. So if you get a huge stun or a hookshot, there's a lot of follow-up damage.
Whenever I see Sven, I always just wonder, like, he can never sleep on his side, can he? Like, he's forced to sleep on his back.
He doesn't sleep, dude. Sleep is for the weak. He's a warrior.
I don't know. It must be so horrible. He's just sitting there locked.
He sleeps on the beach.
Oh, and he digs a little hole?
Yeah, and he puts his head in there.
That's
but then he's got sand in his armor. It happens.
Yeah. And Sand King's just hanging out there, just bothering him.
This is once again a very solid draft from
Winsor
MP.
just ignores us completely over the top. Yeah, and let's go back to the draft. Yeah.
He's like, oh, these dumb British men. Let me tell you about Dota. Carry on, please. No, ignore us.
Okay, what's no one going to play, Winter?
Trying to think,
you're going to make him play that game?
I'm going to make him play that game. He's the best at that game.
It's not like there's not one clear good pick here.
Should I do the question time music?
I mean, they can pick for the lane like a TA to win the matchup, but TA is not that great against their heroes. I wouldn't say there's a hero that pops out to my mind right now. Oh, that hero is great for that situation right now.
Which hero does good against Queen of Pain?
Like I mentioned, like TA would be really good. Puck would win the lane too. But generally, no one is on like a carry type of hero.
Would a Shadow Fiend again not be good?
Decent. He doesn't. I don't think he does that well against Sven because of the War Cry. Sven is pretty good against Shadow Fiend. You BKB, you run in and you pop your War Cry. There's no way Shadow Fiend can actually do much to you. Unless the Sven is behind and Shadow Fiend is ahead.
But then you gotta really trust how your lanes is it's gonna be Temper Assassin as you mentioned.
It's just like for the matchup wise, but I don't think TA is that great in general against the whole lineup of MP.
So just what, you think that's almost a space filler?
It's not a space filler. It's just how generally VP approaches their game. Like I mentioned, I always say VP is a team that puts a lot of focus on winning their lanes. They just pick heroes
that they can play, that they're comfortable with,
and they're gonna win the lane. Yeah. It's just for the matchup. It's not so much about what is the hero gonna do later against their heroes.
Beautiful stuff. All right, well, this is where we ask for our closing thoughts. Before we do introduce the casters, I just want to kind of generally get the consensus that we're not expecting to see much more from NP. You've seen their draft now, Shiva. You still expect, surely not the same.
No,
level
I think this is. I think they because they swapped it up a lot, right? This is entirely different from the first game. I think that is really necessary, and I think they have a draft that they are very comfortable with, and that we have seen them execute this before, so they can do it. I still think Virtus.pro, like Ted says, they're not revealing anything, and they feel extremely comfortable. And it's like, okay, you know what? We just pick this. Don't reveal anything. We just do well. Let's see.
They're the better team, so
they are the better team.
The better team, and it's the better team doing basic Dota as well. It seems to be the general consensus on this.
It's never basic at this level.
No,
Alex. I don't know what you guys do in CS:GO.
I'm allowed to use Winter's words. When Winter says it, I'm allowed to steal it. All right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get off the screen so I can go ahead and blush. Let's introduce two people that always make me blush. It's, of course, Toby Wan and Malini to cast through this one.
It's obviously the fantastic looks of Malini and the weird red-headed Australian that just sets everyone a little bit.
You just made it awkward, Toby. Just thank him for the compliments.
Just thank him?
Yeah.
Thanks, machine. Thanks, machine.
Come on, Toby.
I'm glad you're here. All right, let's.
Oh, my alt key was stuck. I was just pinging you on the map nonstop.
yeah. Let's not do that and destroy all the observers' experience. So NP versus VP. VP. Again, we have the same kind of similar thing. Really, really good laning phase coming out from them. The Templar Assassin being the one to cap off their lineup. Everything looks pretty stable again for VP.
I think the bigger problem is giving them Sand King and Ogre again. Those two are just really nasty in their hands because it's like they run around the map a lot, they control their lanes, and they like to stun so they can just constantly kill you over and over again. And like they're just very imposing, I think is the word I would use for VP.
But how do you really ban out these heroes against Virtus.pro? Like I was talking to Casper before these games actually started today, and he's just like, yeah, VP's just going to keep doing exactly what they've done before because they know it works. And why are we going to fix what's not actually broken? So we just keep running the same kind of thing. They've got enough diversity where you've always got like these 3 alternate heroes. When something else gets banned out, they just cycle in a new strategy.
Deal with the Bat Rider, which they've been banning out instead.
Yep.
I would say. This game, they didn't ban out the SD and they tried to take it themselves. I think that Ogre is a much better first pick, personally, against VP. But then you'd give them SD Luna.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to avoid, right?
That can be manageable, though, because if you give them that, then you can take the Sand King yourself, who is also really good versus the illusions. I think that's why VP took it in the second phase. They're like, oh, you're going to ban Sniper? Sure, I'll take Sand King. You want to pick a Manta plus a illusion hero? Okay, I'll get Ags and own all of your illusions with Caustic. And then they were severely limited in their carry choice. They had to go with a Sven, who doesn't even use illusions, so now the first pick's kind of wasted. They don't have the Mirana to pair up with it. What exactly is the SD supposed to do this game?
Right now it looks like 1437 is just tasked with saving any target which is initiated on to then try and counter-initiate. That's all.
There's a lot of other heroes that can do that. They can offer you a way better toolkit. Let's say like Dazzle, I would say, would be one of the heroes that I would say fulfills a
But they also
role.
at the first phase. Now top lane, the initiation happens, and because the Shadow Team in the middle of all this, Savage does actually have that wonderful Spirit out. A lot of damage into Ramsey. At the same time, the SD, he does eventually fall. He was the one that started everything on. But it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. The Luna for the support SD, but first blood did go to the Ogre of all the heroes, and the TPs are coming back already.
Yeah. One of the benefits of the Shadow Demon, though, is making the illusions of the Luna, but they can expect the TA and the Sand King to do the majority of their damage, and Luna kind of just sit in the back and reinforce everyone else. It's also one of the benefits of being Luna. She can be a hard carrier, or she can just buff everyone out and stay alive.
Do you actually modify your build just because of that, knowing that you're going to get disrupted up? So like less stats or something along those lines? Because you still like want to look towards your Manta and such.
You can go HOD, I would say, and stack for the TA. I guess that's one alternative that isn't stats, that helps out your team a lot. But there's not that many other builds that don't involve some sort of move speed or stats.
Solo might be in a little bit of trouble. He's up a long way, and Savage does have the Spirit into Stomp combination, so they start with the Storm Bolt, into then the Stomp, and Solo body blocked up by AUI. Is there going to be enough damage with the catch? They're going to disrupt him up. Savage taking way too much damage from Ramses. Ramses will drop down low. AUI cannot get in range in time. And now it's actually NP who are the ones on the retreat, even though Solo is 160 life, which is like 5%, 10% of the Ogre Magi life. He's still up there hitting the Shadow Demon back.
Joke's on you, Toby. This is an ogre we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. But MP feel like they can kill him, judging by their maneuver.
I'm surprised our Ob just didn't, go somewhere else. He's like, oh, he's not going to die. We don't even need to bother watching this.
Yeah, let's go down to the bot lane instead and watch like MSS versus Pasha.
Oh, they have a stomp onto Luna.
With the Storm Ball follow-up. Yeah, that's it.
Mega dead.
I actually like this catcher early on too. Coming out from the SD, they're actually amplifying up enough that they can get through heroes like Ogre. Obviously, we just had a whole bunch of denied. Both Lil and Solo denied themselves up. So right now, the neutrals are on the same score as MP.
It is important, though, for MP.
Oh, Courier Snipe middle.
It's going in.
Oh,
it's been 3 minutes.
It's Envy. It's Envy in a nutshell. And is he denying himself up to...
That is usually not the choice for people to deny because you give them a little bit of gold, but 149...
Maybe he could have walked for the Ancients.
Is that worth it, though, for him? He's giving away 150 gold. Let's say that would take him like...
He took the bottle off, right?
Yeah, he did, off the chicken.
Top lane, initiation, going to go on AUI. They drag him back, but the stomp here again from Savage creates more space. They all look very tired and asleep, but Luna, the catcher, is on him, combining it with the Shadow Poison. Ramsey makes a break for the tree line, and he'll actually go down. Now it's Solo trying to help out. Eternal Envy's rotated up here too, so Virtus.pro, they're outnumbered. Lil needs to help out somehow with the Fade Bolt. It's just not doing enough work. They do kill this Ven, thanks to Lil, but now Envy is on the hunt. It's a double kill for the SD, but it's Lil trapped in the tree line. His TP's coming off cooldown now. There's no mana for a disruption, but he's not going to attempt the TP. Does as much damage as possible and then accepts his fate.
That's another benefit of Envy, though, dying right when he did. If he dies in neutrals, that's maybe 6-7 more seconds, which I think he would have made the fight on time, and MSS going to take a spill as every hero has just kind of went to a different lane at this point.
Yep. I'm wondering, though, if it's really worth it for Envy. Like, his mid lane wasn't going well. He's 11 CS now. Didn't get any of the kills. They were just supports. But no one's sitting at 28 for 10 on that Templar Assassin.
Yeah, it is risky for Queen, especially before, like, let's say 6-7, when I think she really gets strong. And Solo is kind of just making sure she can't
come back,
do anything. And on top of that, the mid tower is almost dead. It's at under 500 HP due to the constant beatdown from the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, and TA's in a fantastic spot too. Like, yeah, you had the Courier sniped out, so this didn't bring everything back, but now we've actually got the Courier back up. The bottle's on the way. It looks like that's actually the full Ring of Aquila as well for TA. So while these items being missing is a bit of a pain in the butt, he can always just come back. There's 2 Observer Wards down on top of that tower as well.
And Lil, 1437, going to maybe walk into on top. That was a close encounter. And looks like he will be able to stop the pool from happening.
Just messing around with the SD.
This is not usually how teams handle this spend too. Oftentimes they ditch AUI safe lane and let him farm with the HOD and stack Ancients and get huge. He takes him out at maybe 8 or 9 minutes, maybe even slightly earlier sometimes if he has free farm. Yep. And this game, he still doesn't even have treads. He is struggling, and he takes up a lot of space on the map, but only if he has HOD, because otherwise, who's going to be able to stack the Ancients? No one's even like
SD, Burrow Strike. Are they going to go straight through the tree lines? They want Vision first. So Lil will get the pickup, throw him down. They know that Stomp's on their way, and they'll create a little bit of space. MSS with a great rotation. Hook shots in. Lil, as well as Pasha, they split up, while Pasha, stunned up as the SK, goes down the Battery Assault. It will allow Lil to escape.
That was a little bit of poor communication by MP. I like how all their cores are TPing in, but they could have gotten a +1 there if Clockwork just stuck on the Rubik. And then because they could have realized that the Sven would have been able to kill the Sand King. But Sand King's one of those heroes that you kind of expect might always be able to survive. He actually does not have any points in a Sandstorm in this game, so it looked like it was an anti-Rubik thing last game, and maybe an anti-ranged skill build that he did. So I like that he's super flexible with the Sand King build, and he kind of just like has that threat in them, like the supports have to constantly buy sentries and stuff because he did it last game.
And MSS, he's not going to be able to get close enough to actually hit onto Ramsey, but again, VP have done the same kind of thing. chip away at the tower, and then just open it up for another maneuver. And MP have to commit multiple heroes to try and stop it. Like, Envy comes back to try and hold this mid tower, but that's a double damage rune on a Templar Assassin. Envy cannot fight that.
At least he has the Bassi for a little bit of armor, so he doesn't get destroyed. He's sitting at, what, 6 armor? It's decent at this point in time, but the problem is he is underfarmed and does not have any treads at the moment.
Underfarmed behind, like 2.3k to 4k net worth.
And nice deny coming out from Envy, even with a DD, and I don't think he had refracting charges at that point, but Radiant has used scan.
Yeah, they scanned the mid lane, but it would have captured anyone that was sitting in the tree line behind the tier 1 tower. They had the Observer Ward down near the Ancient, so they kind of saw it anyway.
They were looking for the Invis clock.
Ah.
And now, because it turned up positive or negative, I guess green is kind of deceptive. It turned up that there were no heroes there, so they assumed that he's on bottom.
Yep.
And they're making the correct play by playing very safe. No one in a little bit of trouble.
Up. He's right underneath the Obs and the Sentry too, so there's not even a meld dodge available to him, but that hookshot needs to get there, and they can't get far enough over.
That's some really good game sense by no one right there. He knows that MSS would try and rotate back to the mid, but he would have to come from the bottom side. So to dodge the range of the super long-range hookshot, he goes to the north side. Like, VP are just on top of their game right now.
And they're having everything going their way. Like, Ramsey's about to take up a nice easy stack, which Solo's prepared for him too. That's after they bring down the tier 1 tower. The advantage of NP as their D push is still quite good. Like, just Elder Titan himself already makes the pushing quite difficult. Because it's too much of an easy setup for MSS. You get that sleep out with a stomp. MSS just jumps in with hookshot, then quick follow-up from the rest of MP. But they need to make space for AUI.
Yeah, they pinged out this tree. VP, they know that this tree is actually hurting them a lot, the one that's next to that Observer Ward. They can't actually see into the Ancients with that ward.
The Sentry doesn't reach over.
Yeah, but the Observer Ward doesn't see anything. It's really blind as to what's going on.
But he threw it down. Like, the reason why they committed both the sentries is because when that Obs was thrown down, Savage was right on top of the hero. So he's expecting the camp to be blocked. So they actually just soak up so much money through the sentry wards. And they don't get the D ward. Now hookshot over. Nice catch. Catching Solo out. Trying to go through that little bit of a choke point, but Clockwork right in the money. Eternal Envy in the neighborhood as well. And there's a lot of heroes down the bot lane for NP. You've got just the SD going solo against the SK, and I suppose that's the only hero that can stand in the lane against the SK.
Yeah, and Pasha is very aggressive as soon as he knows that there are heroes on the other side of the map.
He's already got Blink.
Skipping the creep wave, yep.
10.5 minutes Blink Dagger. TP's bottom lane can prep for the epicenter just as MP thought they were going to have the better fight here.
That was a well-placed Spirit.
Blink Burrow Strike catching out 2 from Pasha. Will it be enough at the moment with the Lucent Beam? They slow down AUI. MSS creates a lot of space with his cogs, allowing MP to TP out in the tree line. Can anyone get a catch? Lil needs vision. He doesn't get it. And the Stomp will help create even more space. Savage really on the money on that ET.
Yeah, he scouted out that Blink Sand King or the TP even, which gave MP the heads up to dodge that fight. And that was definitely gonna go sour for them.
But they blink, they burrow, they're gonna go on Eternal Envy. They're thinking about a defensive disruption, but instead it's gonna be the Purge over on the SK. They take away all of his mana. The Sven's already down, AUI being exploded by the TA. They actually managed to avoid the hook shot, and now with the Burrow Strike and the Eclipse running around, they're all so low, Virtus.pro. All of them so down. Pasha blinks away. He'll dodge the last attack from the tower. The Spirit's looking for him, but they stun up Savage. Pasha's still waiting. Ramsey doesn't know if he wants to come back. The Spirit's making a re-entry back into Savage. Just to give him the movement speed to get away, and Solo gets cold burnt again. MSS in close, but Solo, now he's solo. 150 on him. They're getting away. Virtus.pro. They are the walking dead at the moment, but the dead are crushing NP.
Wow, so much skillful maneuvers that we saw coming out from VP right there. They just dodged everything. They dodged a hookshot, they dodged a flare, they dodged the Elder Titan Spirit, and any one of those would have spelled their demise had they connected. And
they chain the stuns perfectly too. They get away. Like, that's one of those beautiful things just to watch later. And you're seeing now VP flexing their muscle. Like, no one Meld Strikes Envy, takes away 2/3 of his life in one attack.
Yeah, he can't
Yeah, let's watch it again. So Pasha is kind of stranded. He's got no mana to work with. They throw the split down, and MSS misses the hook shot. That would have been the death of Solo right there.
And Lil and Ramses.
That Eclipse does so much work.
All these sticks.
This blink. You can just see it slow motion, then boom. Straight away at the last second. Now we come back live and we'll see Pasha being initiated on. We left with the Pasha's play. And we come straight back to it. He'll perch up on the SD. Caustic shouldn't be enough to pop him with a hook shot forward. Now it's actually the SK isolated, but he burrow strikes underneath the cogs. But AUI just sitting there farming up. He'll farm at SKUI's in the neighborhood. Efficiency maximized.
Pasha didn't think they were going for the kill there. And Ramsey's like, why aren't we going for the kill? And they just needed one more right click, I would say. And maybe perhaps expecting that the Caustic would finish him off. But raindrops make kills difficult. Now, VP, they can start eyeing some more tasty pickoffs with double Blink Dagger. Templar Assassin just 50 gold away. She has it right now. And Roche is at their disposal.
Oh, AUI, I don't know if he really wanted to do that. He just Quelling Bladed down an Observer Ward while under the cover of smoke. And the pings came out pretty quickly from Virtus.pro. But they lost that vision.
Got greedy.
Yep. He just wanted it. They're still stacking up the Ancients. But the rotation's coming down to bottom lane, and Ramses and Lil, like, obviously the warning bells flagged by taking out that Obs Ward. Lil and Ramses make a break for the tree line. Lil stays close enough where he would break the smoke on them, and now, in fact, yeah, AUI shows himself, and VP knows what's up.
It's a really difficult gank to make happen because of the Luna's night vision with Lunar Blessing. Like, if the smoke pops, they can't see anyone. They have to drop a flare, drop a spirit, and that is more than enough time for VP to escape unless
this is better. The
Observer walks right into them.
Yeah, that was not worth the saw at all. They'll get the stuns down. AUI is even going to commit God Strike. They want this kill quickly. Solo's still not dead yet. He's walking away. They need more damage. The hook shot, it hits the spirit. Clockwork can't even get close enough, so it's a double kill for Lil. Clock still hasn't managed to catch up to Solo, and now he's isolated. They're TPing back to the tier 2 tower. The cogs will drop down, but MSS is on the run. He's lost the rest of his entire team. But the first stun, the follow-up stun, Lil's got his control of cooldown in 1 second time. And there it is. He gives a double kill to no one. In fact, he ended up taking what? So Rubik got 2, TA got 2, and MP got schooled. Maybe even Envy. He's not out of the woods yet. Lil's trying to scout him out. Shadow Poison.
Well, look at his items, though. He's going for the chicken kill, and he knows that it's on his way back.
Wait for it. Wait for it. He's going to kill that very cute dog, and he just Sonic Waves it. Committal. Blink up, starts his TP. Underneath the tower, Lil doesn't have mana. So no mana for telekinesis, couldn't catch him out anyway.
2 chicken kills, 0 hero kills. Sad life for Envy. He's trying to get them back in the game economically. However,
and you can see how far he is behind no one.
The net worth, he's almost 3 times as rich.
Oh, no one. Nice hook shot. MSS, they needed this with the dust as well. No one fights its way out of the cogs. They need to finish the job. However, they have enough damage. The Templar Assassin will drop.
That's such a great kill.
That's the one kill of Eternal Envy, and it's the big one. 660 gold for it.
Yeah, and it's on the TA. And TA was just spiraling out of control. And her being like way more farmed than the Sven is a... It's really problematic because then the Warcry is just not going to be that effective in saving everyone from the Meld Strike. However, with that, Envy can pick with some more items. I'm not really sure what you go for as a Queen of Pain. Normally it's the Orchid if you're ahead, but now there's like a 4-staff on the Sand King. There's a Blink on Rubik. It's just not that easy for him to actually get picks with.
Is it worth him just going for something more like the Aghanim Scepter, like that lane tempo controller? Like go like Ags and Lincolns and then just wait for the late game where maybe you can get a Scythe? He's picking up a Oblivion Staff now, so it looks like he's going to lock himself into the Orchid.
Yeah, I'm just worried about him dying versus the TA very, very quickly.
Oh, it's a good thing to worry about. Pass just slide-style blinks around Savage's Stomp. But Queen of Pain, Eternal Envy, still had that Haste Rune bolted up, so he triggers it and walks away. So the maneuver from VP doesn't end with a kill. But does start pushing MP back to their side of the river.
So that one kill was like almost a 2,000 gold swing in favor of NP, so something's looking up for them. Maybe if they get a team wipe close to the Roche pit, which they are defending so heavily, they can equalize this net worth. No one scouting things out for them. Lil Smoke behind.
Yeah, he's looking to come in close. Gets very close to AUI, but loses the vision up the hill. But MP still got a lot of men on the ground around this point, and they're going to find SD sitting in the tree line. Well,
that's ugly.
That's a wilting rose. And now this opens up VP, where they may feel they got enough confidence to start on Roshan. They still have the issue of ET, Spirit into Stomp, and ET split is a real issue. Same with MSS's hookshot and consistent scouting with Rocket.
They have observer wards on the east side, though, inside the lane, so that they know that these two heroes are over there. They don't know their exact positioning, however, and they do have to beware of the hookshot. Maybe a hero might stand on the right side to block it.
That actually may even... Oh, kill by Radiant. Templar Assassin grabs the Aegis, and instantly no one blinks up looking for the kill. But already MP have fallen back.
So lost control of Rose. Ancients kind of slowly going the way of VP's control, wrested from NP's grasp, and I just don't see this Queen of Pain getting back into the game, though. Like, Queen of Pain is just too poor. Like, every time you go in a team fight, you just have to be deathly afraid of TA just
Pasha found him too.
You.
Blink is off cooldown at the moment, starts the epicenter, but Lil holds Queen of Pain in position. He buys as much of the second Oblivion staff as possible, but it's still a dead Envy.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what to go for. Maybe, any of the items just sound like not that great. I was saying maybe Veil, but the problem is Sven does very little magic damage, and he's kind of like your other magic dealer. But then again, you have the ET, so maybe, and then your ult's pure, but you can use the armor from Veil.
You can at least see the mindset of MV. Like, by picking up the Orchid, they're saying at least on our smokes, we gank, we move, and we fight. If we get one hero down, we create space instead of just saying, okay, let's just hold it at tier 3 towers and we just push them back with a Sonic Wave, or we push them back with the Spirit. That's the only way they actually hold VP at bay. But the only way they win is by killing VP time and time again on their big calls and playing catch-up.
And they need to survive the fights. That is my biggest concern for MV. Like, he gets Stanking Stun, he dies. He gets Ogre Stun, he dies. He gets TA Mail Strike, and let's say she has crit, she could probably die in one hit. Very close at this point. And I guess they have a Warcry. She needs to make sure that she gets a Warcry buff. Dire has used Scan, very... it's just not very unsurprising that VP are just perched at the Ancients.
Okay, no one's already counted Envy. He's completed Amanda style 20 minutes in.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're that far behind as TA, by the time you get Orchid, they'll have 4 stats, they'll have Yules, they'll have BKBs, Mantas, perhaps even a Lotus Orb. Like, any of these items will just render that Orchid useless. And then 4,000 gold into the Orchid is so much of her net worth right now.
Yep.
Like, you...
And what's Cop offer after that point? Like, you sit there, it's like, well, okay, I Sonic Wave, but even if your timing is wrong, you can hit Refraction of Templar Assassin.
She can snipe chickens.
Yeah.
Two chicken kills.
Yeah. EE, Chicken Hunter.
That's a lot of gold, come on.
That's... Yeah. Or you kill Templar Assassin to get so much more. But right now, as MP, you have to be on the defense. They're still not TP'd back yet, so VP, they start their push. The Spirit Stomp again being available. This will slow down the attack, but it's definitely not going to stop it. I need to bring okay, everyone is back. Watching AUI with that Blink Echo Saber of his.
They need to kill Luna, but Luna has a Hurricane Pike, so now anyone that gets 4-stepped can easily be saved by either the Luna or Pasha.
And the Spirit Stomp also missed on no one. They can't even catch him. Okay, they jump in, you Stormbolt to start over on the Templar Assassin, just blinks in, goes on AUI, Eternal Envy. He's not certain he wants this one. He got the Shadow Strike over on the Templar Assassin, so at least there's not that many defensive charges, but then Pasha! Oh, MSS! He gets disintegrated. The defensive disruption too. Is it going to be enough? They actually get away. Pasha, Envy's jumping out for the kill, but then Yule Scepter up with the Eclipse. Ramsey kills off Eternal Envy again. Pasha on a beast of life retreats out. The Clockwork bought back, but he also won't find his opening. And VP take the mid-ranks, force buybacks, get kills, and lose nothing of value.
Did you see that blink dodge by Pasha? That was a melee range Stormbolt. He had very little time to react there. And he baited Envy to blink downhill, and that was his death. But Pasha, that's his second great blink dodge of the game.
Well, we get to see him. We'll start making a highlight clip again of all that stuff. And his maneuverability has been absolutely wonderful, but NP also fed the beast. They let Pasha have so much space on that lane. All right, so we're going to get to try out something really cool here. We're actually going to watch what Pasha was doing with this replay. So this is his perspective of that last fight.
Yeah, he gets Epi, Sand King just owns the clock. But at this point, oh, he got 4-staff.
4-staff down.
Okay.
I
thought it was a blink.
It was at least his own 4-staff, but Ramsey's, like this Yule Scepter timing with the Eclipse, like Pasha made it feel like EE had a chance.
Yeah, if he's just a little bit too underfarmed though. Like if he had a little bit more int, so his right clicks hit just a little bit harder and had a little bit more spell damage from that intelligence, then like maybe he would have gotten that kill. But it's just unfortunate that it's a situation that Quap is in, that she is just really far behind. Like the experience graph is way worse than actually they're both the
yeah, the graphs are pretty high up for VP.
There's no spinning that to make it sound good for NP.
NP have to climb a mountain at the moment. That's pretty much it. Raiding in a scan behind him, so VP just making sure there's no shenanigans from NP.
Yeah.
They do have the Orchid over on EE. So this is one upside. The downside is almost every single hero is a counter to the Orchid already.
And the hookshot, which they are kind of heavily relying on. MSS on the south side, maybe looking for a hookshot.
Solo is the scout. He doesn't want Solo. He can't kill Solo.
No.
And they know it. The only person they could potentially kill is Lil, but Lil's walking around with a Blink Dagger and a freaking Point Booster. He's almost completed an Aghanim Scepter.
I don't think they can kill Lil. I don't think they can kill anyone with it. They have 2 4-staff. They have the Butterfly on
They
the
have to
Temple
try.
Assassin.
At least they get like a Luna to fight for their cause. That's one small upside.
This is a fight you know you're going to lose if you hookshot it. Like, you know you're probably going to get team-wiped unless...
But he's going to be the space creation, right? That's
No. The Sven
AUI! He goes in, but the SD Disruption, it went the same time as Sven initiated. Solo is at least isolated here, but with the 4-staff and Burrow Strike in from Pasha, he caught Savage, he caught Rose, and MP are completely caught. Pasha will come in, that Epicenter, it still wasn't even used, but no one does so much damage. The Butterfly, AUI can't even hit it right now. No one is untouchable. And you got MSS trapped on the front lines. Buybacks are coming in from MP, but this feels like desperation. Envy blinks forward, no one waits, and then 2 hits down the SD, moves on to Envy. It's a rampage, and it really is the game. AUI is stranded between everything. The only upside is the fact that it's only a Luna and a TA. The downside is it's the Luna and the TA. They're still alive for Virtus.pro, so AUI tries to be a man, but it's just not manly enough. Too many rampages, and MP will lose their first game to Virtus.pro 2-0 in an insanely convincing fashion.
So we just got
Virtus.pro
5 rampages by the same person in 2 games. 5.
Yep.
That's pretty... Yeah.
He did have a lot of space though. Like if you look at the VP lineup, okay, yeah, you've definitely got a superstar which comes in the form of that Templar Assassin, but it was the TA who early on didn't really find a lot of space, was like 3 for 1, and then ended up with a score of 12 for 1 at the end, because that was when Pasha kind of got his Blink Dagger, and then everything started working for them. Like that SK was just playing, it was running rings around NP.
VP in happy spirits as they exit their room. One thing that I noticed that's interesting about Lil is that he's actually sitting in the middle for Virtus.pro, which he's not the drafter, so that leads me to believe that he's making the in-game calls. And I think like whoever is making the in-game calls for VP, they're doing great.
Yeah. They're moving around the map perfectly. Their initiation on team fights, like they know exactly when to pull out. There seemed to be a couple of problems for NP as well, like the SD Disruption kept coming out like that in that last fight. Like AUI jumps in, triggers God Strength, wants to go for the kill, and then the SD disrupts. And you're like...
I mean, clearly they were just not in the right mentality at that state of the game. Things were just looking very, very grim, and good sportsmanship. Handshakes coming out.
VP, very, very happy. A lot of smiles. MP, back to the drawing board. They'll go down into that first elimination game.
The draft is very important versus VP, though. I don't really feel like... And I think MP got what they wanted, but just, it didn't really... matter versus VP.
We've got a couple of experts on the draft. They're sitting over on our panel right now, so we'll welcome in Machine and the crew.
Hey,
How you doing, Machine?
Good, thank you. Nice quick start to our day, it seems. That's kind of NP.
Yeah.
Oh, you know how to.
Yeah, MP lost quick enough
There
for you,
was the
machine.
silver lining.
Yeah,
Thank you.
There you go. I'm good at finding
you.
silver linings. And of course, that usually refers to clouds, and there's plenty of them here in Boston. I just went outside. I recommend you guys stay warm, but as you prepare for the next series.
Thank you.
It's horrible. All right.
I'll go look at the 9 clouds.
Yeah, go do that. Right, much love. I'm going to talk to these guys for a little bit. I say these guys. It is, of course, Winter, Shiva, and some guy called Ted.
Did you notice that Toby said there are a couple of experts over there on the panel?
Yeah.
And there's
Not
4 of us.
just
That would imply you 2 are the experts, and Alex is the host, which leaves me
you're here for the good
just
looks.
sitting here. Well, thank you.
You're here
I'm
for the
just a window
smolder.
dressing.
Yeah, you're here for the smolder.
Let's talk about Dota, all
Sure,
right?
I'd
Let's
love
look
to.
at this
So,
game.
Can we first start with the point that the casters made?
Yeah,
And that's,
yeah.
of course, NP got what they wanted. I think this is really important. They got what they wanted. They got all the ingredients that they were after. Does that make sense to you, Winter? They got what they wanted and still couldn't translate it into a victory?
Yeah, they were pretty much gearing up into that Sven pick. Like we saw the first few opening picks, they wanted to give the carry, the whole map to farm. But just VP made a very good decision, I think. Not many teams would have made the decision to go aggro try with the Rubik, Ogre plus the Luna. I think standard approach would be Rubik plus Luna safe lane, and you do a dual lane with the Sand King, Ogre plus Sand King to pressure the Sven.
Yeah.
So I like to commend them for the courage they had to make that decision, because it was a very risky move. If the Luna fails in the laning phase, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
And it didn't necessarily, it wasn't that big of a success. Obviously, you see them here and, they're all dying, but even running that aggressive
They
tri lane.
edited out the MV blink into the trees. It happens. It happens. Yeah.
I mean,
they still did enough to slow that Sven down, and that is all they were there for.
They did enough to slow the Sven down, that's number one. And number two, Sand King against Clockwork, it's a very good matchup for Sand King. So they're going to win the other lane.
I think if you watch a lot of the fights, if you watch a lot of the fights in the game,
this was so good.
It was great, but what VP were able to do is not die. I know that sounds stupid, but a lot of the time they escaped on very little health. We saw Pasha do that a couple of times in the game. That is so demoralizing for MP. If you think, this fight's going okay, guys, we're going to get some kills here, they start using abilities like, Sven pops God Strength and stuff, and just nothing comes of it. I think it breaks your spirit, and VP were able to do that multiple times in this game.
I think also, Machine, you said earlier that is, the CAS stigma in terms of playing Dota.
Sure.
The type of play they have to just run at you, and they're going to get in your face, and then they're going to kill you. Virtus.pro has refined that, and they will still run at you, and it's just, they're not afraid. Solo is right up in the face there of MSS, but they will run at you, and then we'll know exactly when to back off and exactly how far they go, and never overstep their boundaries, or at least very rarely overstep their boundaries.
Very disciplined, I would say.
So disciplined, but they also they're not afraid to start a fight. They'll engage, and they brought the fight to NP in this one. I want to talk a little bit about Sven as well. Now, this is, of course, you already highlighted it was a big basis around NP in their late game. They wanted to take Sven. How was he disrupted? What was it that was done that stopped Sven from getting as big as they wanted him to be?
I think, like I mentioned, the first thing was the laning phase. VP decided to put an aggro try against the Sven. That's number one.
Right.
And VP, because of the better matchup, the 1v1, the Sand King against Clockwork, he was again able to get a very early blink and contest the Sven when he's trying to pump the Ancients.
Also, Envy didn't really have a great time mid, did he?
Yeah, because of the matchup, like I said, they're picking TA, not because TA is really good in their overall strat, but it's because of the laning phase. He's going to beat Queen of Pain. I didn't expect Queen of Pain to be beaten so badly, but I know TA is going to beat Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and of course you've already highlighted you weren't a fan of Queen of Pain anyway. You were probably cheering a little bit every time TA got a kill. Now, just returning to this tri-lane, you were already describing taking that tri-lane as a risk. I would like to just outline as to why taking that tri-lane could have gone oh so wrong, Shiva. I mean, that was a risk, right?
Yeah, because if that Sven would have done better, if that tri-lane for NP would have gone better, then you got a Luna on the side of Virtus.pro that is not going to be contributing anything to the mid game. Later on, he'll be coming back. He can catch up, but at that point, you got everybody of NP just reaching their timings and just going forward, and then they can execute their plan. And basically, by making sure that Sven didn't really get off the ground, NP just couldn't execute their plan. They just never got to that point.
I mean, why I said it was risky, because MP's lane is not that weak. Usually when you do this kind of aggro try, you are trying to capitalize on the enemy weak safe lane. But this game, their safe lane wasn't even that weak. So that's why I said it was
it was a risk. It was a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can have a look at the scoreboard and see how well it did work out. Certainly that Temporal Assassin will be a name we recognize as you cast your eyes across those numbers. And no one, again, with the big numbers.
He had a Dazzle blink at minute 13 and a half, 14. That is as good as it gets for a TA.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that kind of put Eternal Envy into a bit of a hole. If you do have a look at that kind of the initial start in their CS,
I mean,
it was
that's
a bit of a
like
mess.
kind of Queen of Pain for you, you know. If you're not familiar with the hero, if the hero doesn't snowball, she just doesn't do anything in the game.
So the overall, in terms of both the series are kind of decided in the laning stage. At least Virtus.pro coming out of them, coming out very well. So that was the point I was getting to. That Ogre, like I know he's not gonna get ban priority a lot because you know you get, like we talked about earlier, you know exactly what he's gonna do. But is it like at what point are you gonna get him removed because he is so strong?
You have to ban it against VP though. I think they play one of the best ogres around because they use the hero a lot. I think I told Alex before this hero is all about the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
How much pressure you exert to the enemy. If you pick the hero and you don't pressure the enemy, you're wasting the hero. And VP is one of the best teams that pressures the enemy in the first 5 minutes.
It just kind of goes together, doesn't it? I mean, you talk bread and butter. You tell me that VP like to go early aggressive, and you tell me that Ogre's best in the first 5 minutes. It's just like, why wouldn't you take that away?
Yeah, why wouldn't you ban Ogre against VP? That's the next question.
And that's the question that I'm sure a lot of teams will be asking themselves, perhaps NP. I do want to see what that MVP has been nominated for. Of course, no one was at the top of the scoreboard and was their MVP of map 1. But as we look into number 2, it looks like Solo has got the shout out. Now, this was at the tip of your tongue, Shiva. Can you tell us as to why?
I mean, you just mentioned it already. The first 5 minutes,
yeah.
Ogre. That's what he does, right? He is strong early game, but Solo takes it to another level. He is everywhere all the time, making the right place. And we saw him earlier on in the highlights in the fight in the bottom lane. He was weaving in and out of that fight multiple times, making sure that he could still get off his spell, use all of his mana, even on the lowest of health.
Yeah.
To still make it out.
I think if you can take a hero to the like, if you look at a lot of pro players, having mana is what makes you run away. If you're out of mana, that's when you leave.
Sure.
Like you'd rather stay there and cast your spells and help your team, especially as a support. Don't run away. Like he stayed there and fought, and he stayed around, got the clock, played it perfectly, kept his distance, timed it, waited for support. It was great. That's just great support play.
And it is a really kind of a big warning to everyone else who was kind of scared of VP coming into this tournament. Now they're like throwing down the gauntlet. Look, 2-0 against NP. We are not to be trifled with. And someone who shouldn't be messed with as well. He messed with me in the lobby. It's Slacks. He's hanging out with no one. One of his many friends.
Oh, hey, Machine. I'll mess with you anytime, buddy.
Hey, bro.
Oh, hello, my friend.
Hello.
Hey, I'm here with no one. The MVP, as it were. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm fine.
You're fine. Now, I don't know why they call you nobody. You were definitely somebody in that game. 12-0 as a Shadow Fiend. Who plays Shadow Fiend? How do you pick that hero? Doesn't everybody die with that? How are you so good at it?
No answer.
No answer. You can't even tell me how you're good at. You're just good.
Yeah.
Just the best. Okay, I could feel that. So to me, VP feels like a revenge squad. You know, you guys been kicked, you've been traded, you've been brought together, and now you're here dominating everybody else. People think you're the best dudes in the tournament. Do you feel like you're a revenge squad? Do you feel like you're the best guys at the tournament here?
Seriously, nope, because a lot of teams much better than us. But we will show our best.
Who do you think is better than you?
Everyone.
Everyone. See, that's how he gets you, you know? He picks Shadow Fiend, bad hero, dominates you, says he's the worst team here, dominates you. Okay, then. Good question for you, no one. This one's a little serious. Who is your someone? You say that you're no one. You're very modest. But when you think about Dota, who's the one person you think about?
Me. Just me.
Just you. You think about you.
Someone for me, it's no one.
This is all very confusing to me, but thank you. Okay, final question here. You guys are going out there into the major. You're going to face the world's best. A lot of people think that you're the best team. Who are you guys afraid of?
We're afraid ourselves.
You are a locked case, man. I can't get in there, but we'll find a way to do it later. I'm sure I'm going to see you again for another Winner interview. And, okay, you know, I'm not letting you go. No. Tell me something. Give me something. What is your favorite meal?
Meal?
Don't say yourself. Don't say no one. Give me something.
I don't understand this question at all.
Your favorite food?
Which is bad. Everything. Just
nothing. I got nothing. He got me, guys. All right, back to you. I'll crack this egg later.
Wonderful. I love that. Favorite meal? Nah, none of that. Slacks and no one, everybody, of course, the winner and one of the key contributing factors to Virtus.pro's success in our first game here of the Boston Major. Yeah, it was a tough egg to crack.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, he's actually, like, he seems fairly shy in the interview with Slacks, right? He's not.
He's not a shy man.
This is the thing about players, is that the moment they see a camera and a microphone, they think, no.
Nah.
No. Like, if you talk to them backstage, or if you're hanging out, you're listening to their conversations and stuff like that. That's when you see the real them.
Yeah.
So everybody thinks that them in front of the camera, they're just like, no, everything, nothing, somebody. It's like, come on, say something. But they don't. That's just the way it is.
I can relate to that.
You can relate to that. Yeah, but now we've got...
And here you are, sitting in front of a camera talking about Dota.
Honestly, Winter is one of the funniest guys, and he flames people so much, and you just need to make him angry, and he comes flying out of the trap.
I actually have like a spiked stick, and I'm just relentlessly poking him to the point where he's just going to start getting angry, and we'll get like the meme Dota. The meme Winter.
Meme Winter. That's why we needed Black on the panel at some point, just to pop up behind the desk like this. Just pops up and says, "Hey, Winter," just trolls him with it. Then he'll come out.
Yeah, and then we'll get the real side of you.
Yeah.
Now, while we have you, Winter, it's actually really fun to ask if you've been watching the other games. I don't think I haven't seen that on that laptop. You haven't necessarily been watching just this game. There's a lot of games going on parallel to this one.
Yeah, I was, being a bit concerned about my friends at WG.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they had a really close game one. If they were a little bit more composed, they would have actually been able to win that game. But, they're up against Wings. Wings don't have as good as late game. The game went like, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. It was a very long game.
Yeah.
And looking at both of their compositions, I think WG had the better composition into the late game, but they just, they lost to a better team.
And to clarify, I mean, WG Warriors are a team that people are not expecting big things of. They are, they are probably the definition of an underdog at this instance, and now they're going up against, TI winners Wings. To push them in the first series is a big kind of statement.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody... apart from Winter, not a lot of people were expecting for them to do as well as they did. So it's a good promise in terms of, they're on this level. A lot of people weren't expecting a lot, but they are on this level to compete.
They're not weak. That was just what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
They're not a team that you should, write off. This team is not going to do much, but I mean, they are very solid. Their team play and everything, and I think I like the most is their general strat. Their strat is the drafts that they pick are really good.
Don't sleep on Warriors. And of course, the reminder as well of where VP are going next and where we are going next. It will be Virtus.pro versus Newbie. They played MVP, and that seems to have ended in 2-0. At least we've got confirmation of that now.
Yes.
So it was like 20-6 when I last checked in.
It's really odd because, I mean, both of these series. Okay, so the other group, they're in their second game still. That's like normal game time lengths.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer.
Brief.
Blindingly quick.
Both of them series have been, the 2-0 is extremely fast. So I'm really hyped for Newbie versus VP because if you're going to put two teams that were dominating so hard, I mean, who knows what could happen? Fireworks.
Now, we got a lot of fun to end this day. Oh, sorry, you go, Ted.
No, I was just breathing.
Oh, that was just you built suspense with your breath. It was like a...
just relaxing. Just breathing.
Okay, cool. Well, take a breath.
Okay.
And we're going to get a question from the social media. That's right. You can tweet us and you can bring it up on the stream so we can have a little chat.
Keep it civil.
And a chin wag with you. He says, it's Kazuki. He says, does VP's aggressiveness represent the new meta, or is it a matter of momentum? Well, I mean, we've been told already that the meta is by no means locked in or concrete. So do you think, I'll start with you, Winter. This is an interesting one. Do you believe that VP and their aggressiveness does reflect the meta, or is it simply just momentum?
Well, I believe that the way you play Dota right now is you have to take initiative, and that's what VP is doing.
Right.
Some teams might not do it as aggressive as them, but I still believe that you should always be trying to do something and be, active on the map. Instead of just trying to, what MP did this game was just really sit back, stabilize the lanes, and they didn't even look to try and make any plays around the map. They were really passive against VP.
I mean, surely there is still some positives to playing passively. You can still make that game type work.
Not too much, though.
Not as much.
Yeah.
It depends on how you describe passive as well. You can be passive while still making sure that you basically keep control of your own half of the map.
Sure.
You can call that passive, but at the same time, it is an active way of playing, of making sure that your lanes are safe. It's a bit of a...
You could passively win your lane by just getting a buttload of farm and not giving up kills. Like, that would be one way.
Or not giving up Ogre to VP.
Or
that's one thing. But I think if you're going to sit back and farm and just take it easy and not die and out-level them, and they're running around and they're not getting you, like we saw VP a lot of the time dodged kills. If they could have done that, if MP could have done that to VP, wasted their time, they're not getting anything, MP still getting farmed, that's one way you could do it without being aggressive and proactive and going out. But it's super hard to do with SK and Ogre and heroes like that.
So in answer to your question, probably momentum isn't the word we'd use. It's less like that. So that was a great question. I think we've got one more we can summon by the power invested in me. What does the panel do while games are being played?
Watch the game.
Hey,
massage.
No,
his name.
Alex is getting breakfast when the games are being played.
Yeah, we would just relax. That's what we do.
There is a room where we watch the game we were talking about before we go. Just so you're aware, we're not just hanging out lying
partying.
around.
Me and Ted tend to spoon when we watch the games.
We do a little spooning, but you can still see the screen.
We watch actually 2 games. There's 2 games being played on the screens there, so we try to keep up with everything that's happening. Which
I was
is
just
very
sitting down here using the mouse because I wanted to click on stuff that I wanted to see.
Yeah, don't lie. We all know you're scrolling through like 9gag or Imgur. Yeah.
The players can't stand watching it through someone else's perspective. They want to see click. It's awful.
I mean, I tried for the first 5 minutes. I sat by Winter. I was like, okay, this will be a better way to watch. I get to hear a player's perspective, and it's just like a slideshow of just images. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So I went and watched the lovely observers, who are of course doing a fantastic job.
Shout out to Scriff and Weapons.
Yes. Much love to you. Right, we are going to take a break. Our first series of the Boston Major concluded, or at least here on the main broadcast. If you are wanting to join the other games, you hear us talking about them. They are available to you. Just simply add the numbers to your URL. It's of course the Boston Major, and then just 2, 3, and 4 if you want to go ahead and catch those opening games if they are still going on. We'll be cutting it down to just 1 and 2, or the mainstream and number 2 for the next series of games. Up next, we are going to be seeing Virtus.pro's story continue going up against Newbie. You will not want to miss this, so we'll see you after the break for our second game.